Like, my stats look like dog. 6k damage, 4,500 healing.
Jesus.
I did what
4.5k healing in 15 minutes should be a reportable offense. Oh my god.
If you knew what I was doing, it wouldn't be, but it's okay. I love ignorant people.
Is Kephrii trolling ranked? This is a big tweet that blew up a little bit yesterday. I actually made a response to it, but I'm not going to spoil my response. Instead, I want to actually take the opportunity here not to just delve into the juice so much as actually use this as a learning opportunity for people that may not be familiar with how support in Overwatch 2 functions. You see, the way support works in Overwatch 2 is that obviously healing is a priority whenever it's needed, but especially for a character like Illari, there's a lot of dynamics in how you actually provide value. And so I know it's easy to dunk on somebody like Kephrii over and over again. However, it's really important that we actually take a look at this objectively and see what we can learn that may be applicable for really any ranked player regardless. So I'm just going to sit here and eat my breakfast, and we're going to take a look at this gameplay here. So our mate here posted the replay footage. She actually posted the replay code here. So we're going to actually take a look at Kephrii's POV here. Now, first thing to note is that they are in BAP Illari. So BAP provides a lot of healing output. And you're also going to notice right off the bat that in terms of the composition, there's really not a lot of healing demanded from Team Red there. So you have the BAP, Junker Queen, pretty self-sufficient. Torbjorn and Junker Rat are going to mostly be taking soft off angles around the BAP. Now, you could have your Illari play around the backline here. And what you do is you throw your pylon here to support you in your BAP, and then you take a solo off angle here. But what Kephrii is doing, and this is a classic Kephrii, is he's always prioritizing the range. He's prioritizing playing a distance and kind of holding a longer sideline, which isn't necessarily optimal on this first fight rollout, I would say, especially without knowing the enemy composition. But it's actually not too bad if he's able to control this right flank here. Now, I have not seen this replay code footage, so we're going to go into this blind. So I want to see him pylon himself, if necessary. He needs to wait a little bit more for that charge to build up. He's firing a little bit too fast, but that's a lot of pressure onto that angle there, and that's forcing the Ana to hard pocket the Sojourn. Which is that also distracts the Sojourn, which then gets her kills at Junkrat. In addition, when the point unlocks, the Mei is not going to be able to safely cap point with the Illari in this angle here. I'm just surprised he hasn't used his pylon yet. It might be that he's saving it until he actually takes damage. I kind of like proactively pyloning whenever you can. In this situation, because he's not actually in the anticipation of taking any significant damage immediately, then proactively pyloning might not be necessary, which allows him to rotate first and then place a pylon later. That's one of the problems about placing a pylon early is if you have to rotate, you have to destroy it and reapply it. So that might be something that he's doing on purpose here. I just would like to see him charge his shots further. Now here, he really needs to disengage, kite back towards his team. Not towards his team, but away from the enemy team and pylon this and hold this angle for sure. This is way too close. And see, he's holding way too close. This angle doesn't make a lot of sense. That being said, his pressure there is like actually really, really, really important. Yeah, this is way too close. Because this is where, honestly, an Ana can kind of contest you, and this is just in general not a good angle. Yeah, this is just trolling right here. So I think he started off the fight really, really strong with his initial positioning, but then the angle that he took didn't make a lot of sense. He also really needs to chill with the charge shots. He's firing way too fast. It compromises your DPS. All right, so just then dies, resets, and we're going to see some Ana play here. Which I'm surprised to see the swap to. I think Ana doesn't really answer a lot of the problems that we had there. He's going to play with the team now, which honestly is like fine, but I actually don't know that Ana's going to help a lot here. Like the thing with Ana is you need to be landing, like if you don't have a lot of healing needed, which you don't because you already have a BAP, right? So you don't need the healing of the Ana. The Ana actually needs to be playing a lot more aggressively over here. So he's going to have to pocket the BAP as necessary, but he needs to be like looking for like different angles for nades and for offensive pressure, and or maybe supporting his DPS. But as it is right now, it's like, I feel like Zenyatta would do the job just better, or honestly, Illari would have done the job better. Honestly, even a flank Kiriko would probably do what we're doing here better. I mean, this is just a lost fight. You don't have your CDs. I'm surprised at the Ana swap here. I don't think Ana is going to provide a lot here. We don't need the support or the healing of Ana. And then Syrup is actually going to swap Lucio. So then that gives the Ana a little bit more impact because now the Ana can kind of focus on healing tank and land offensive nades. Oh dear. It's a good shot. It's unfortunate. A good nade, but yeah, the one-shot combo is just unstoppable really there. I think maybe we could have naded defensively there. And then if you time it perfectly, like right now, plus one heal shot, you might be able to keep her up. It depends on how good that Sigma is. It's almost unhealable though, with because it is a one-shot combo on a Widowmaker. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know if there's looks like there's some typing going on there. He's going to keep his tank up. He's going to rotate up forward. And this is the Kephrii Ana, where he tends to just hold sight lines and hold angles, and he gets value occasionally. Like this is value right here, but he plays it. He does this with a little bit with his Widow too, where he holds a sight line for too long and is uptime like tanks. It's not the idea of like playing like a more offensive pressure oriented Ana. That can work really, really well. It's really smart to do that in a lot of circumstances. I think especially versus the enemy spam comp, right? You need to be putting on offensive pressure. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to be doing that at the expense, like holding a long sideline, right? And then also, I don't like either of these CDs here. Like this is something that I think really a lot of Anas in ranked would do, of any rank, but it's really, like you need to, like the value of that sleep and nade are basically negligible because your team can't engage on it. You need to wait for the enemy team to engage or have your team engage on them. This angle is really good from him. That nade misses, but it's, oh, it doesn't miss. Okay, I thought I was going to be disappointed there, but yeah, that's a great angle from him. And that makes it really scary to walk through this choke. And he's also going around the Sigma shield as well. Again, the nade there is just meaningless, right? You got to let them out of the choke. If you're building a little bit of ult charge, it's fine, but you already have ult. So just hold the angle here. Again, I like this angle here. I could just fish for a sleep dart here. Nice sleep. It's a huge sleep. Yep, that's good. I think the only thing I would say is that his kite angle could have been closer towards the mini and then back this way instead of up and over. But I think honestly pretty reasonable there. The nano was good, the nade was good, the sleep was good. Just a little bit goofy in terms of the details. But I mean, this is what is Kephrii like? Low GM, mid GM, on support. This is pretty much what we would expect from a support player of this rank. You know, not perfect, but decent. Okay, so they're gonna win this round. That's awesome. And then now we're gonna move ahead to the next round. Spawn nade, Widowmaker. Now this is really important, even with the Lucio here. I think that like your Ana needs to be a little bit more offensive kill threat here because raw healing is not going to help a lot versus a damage boosted Sojourn and a Widowmaker. If your Junker Queen gets shot and you don't find a way to like pressure that Sojourn or Mercy or pressure that BAP or pressure that Widow, your Junker Queen's going to die. Like no amount of healing and double sniper is going to be able to save just a good angle control. So like right here, for example, that sleep's a little lazy. I actually really don't like Kephrii's positioning. I think he's playing too far back. I think this is a situation where you, as soon as you see the Widowmaker, you probably need to rotate onto this flank here and try to play outside of Sigma spam and look for either an angle on a nade here or commit to the rotate with your Lucio speed, hug up here, and then start to look for angles to DPS pressure from here. You cannot stay in this choke. You cannot stay in this choke. You can't really stay here either. So I actually think that maybe rotating to the choke as fast as possible probably would have been the better play here because we're like totally zoned by that Widow right now. Like this is so frustrating and so difficult for us to play. Yeah, that's good. But, that nade needs to hit. Like that nade must hit the Sojourn, at least the Sojourn, if not more. And so the placement just isn't quite there. Huge kill from Evil Lettuce. That's fine. You just need to hit it. And again, the nade is missing. So the problem is not the fact that, oh, we're not healing our team. Because look, our team doesn't need the healing. We're pulling the DPS's attention our direction, which means that our team needs a lot less healing. And if Ana plays this well with her CDs, she can actually take these 1v1s. I mean, support OP, right, guys? Support passive, nade, sleep dart. This is a 1v1 that an Ana is very comfortable taking if she's up close. Even like a Sojourn of equal skill, and Ana will more often than not win this 1v1 unless Sojourn has Braille. So the question here is just Kephrii's just missing the CDs, right? So like that sleep dart, probably just, I mean, it was fine to go for it, but then once you miss it, you probably should hold on to nade, and obviously that nade cannot afford to miss. And so now Kephrii's like pulling a lot of attention this way, but he's not winning the 1v1. And that's the mistake, right? You have to win that one. Now he does distract the Sojourn and gets her low and ends up forcing her slide, and then that forces resources elsewhere. So there's a chance that they could win this fight. No, it doesn't look like it. But it's not that the play style is wrong. It's the execution that isn't quite there. And that's very important because I think when we're asking ourselves, is Kephrii trolling? The answer is that, is anybody trolling when they play poorly? Yes. No. You know, what is it, right? I think to me, it's more of the idea of what he's doing is okay, but the execution needs to be better, right? Which is, you know, you could say it can be said for almost anybody. Good trying the sleep dart. Healing tank. Widow loses the duel. A little bit of healing here. Actually skip forward just a wee little bit here. Oh, we're actually going in. So, again, the timing of these peaks isn't good. So this is when you would want to peak this at the same time as your team is actually pushing, because otherwise every single resource, including Disruptor Shot, Sigma Spam, whatever, can go your way. So the problem here is that he's AFK because he peaked too early. So it's a timing problem. It's not the idea is wrong, the timing is just wrong. And then now he's stuck in the choke, can't rotate out, too scary because the Cyphers are holding this choke. But the window to push is gone. Okay, there it is. It's a good nano. Missed nade. Nice shots. He sleeps in the Sigma shields. That was a huge play. He carried that fight. That was a great nano, great shots, and he timed his rotation when his Junker Queen was actually pulling attention, when she was low, really. So that was smart. This angle is pretty good. This is exactly kind of what we were looking for, where like you want a short angle versus these characters, which is a bit tough, I'm sure, for Kephrii, because, and see, this is the Kephrii problem right here. So with all due respect to Kephrii, who's a much better player than I ever was, but this is not it. Like, this really isn't it. Like, you're playing into damage boost to Sojourn and Widowmaker. You have the advantage when you're in tight, close spaces, like here, and here, and here, not this position here. This is no good. As you can see, like, the Widow side is like, this is just ego. Yeah, like, you can't do this. You can't do this. Because, like, imagine if we had the beat and Torbolt, and then what nade and sleep value would have here. So, like, our default to safety is wrong. Safety comes from you playing the effective range of your character, which in Honest case is usually a sniper, but not when they're on Widowmaker. Nice shot. I think it becomes almost an ego thing at that point. You know, I don't want to pull a psychology read here, but it almost becomes like, oh, I can ego their Widow because I'm just a really good Widow. So it becomes almost like a game at that point. But I think that's not the smartest decision. Now they're on Tracer now, so this position is a little bit better because you can kind of snipe folks out. Now, what is my Widow doing? Widow's way too close here. I have no idea what Evil Lettuce is doing. But yeah, this is a little bit less trolling. That's a great nade. Yeah, again, I think it's okay. I still would have preferred something to play along these lines here, just because it's so much easier to get CD value. So, Kephrii trolling the last round, at one specific point, yes. The rest, maybe not so much. This one feels like just not playing very well, making poor, like over-prioritizing sniping. Really over-prioritizing sniping, I think, is the main takeaway here. It's not the offensive pressure that's being over-prioritized. It's the sniping into a composition where you shouldn't be sniping. And if you want to define that as trolling, then sure. Now, this was the clip that made it on Twitter, which is kind of funny because after I've seen the Twitter clip, I actually think this was the least trolling that Kephrii did. And this is the clip that the person that posted it used as trolling, which is ironic because this is the least trolling round that Kephrii had. Because you're going to look at the comp here, you got BAP, Sigma, Torb, Widow. You don't need more healing. You need more DPS and angle control, right? You need to control more space. And you can already look at the enemy comp. Sojourn, Mercy, Tracer. These guys want to take flanks. They want to set up pincer. They want to go for backline. They want to kill backline. Now, the first thing right from the get-go is that Evil Lettuce is out of position. Evil Lettuce really should be controlling this longer sight line, should be rotating with Idiari, because Idiari plus Widowmaker could completely shut down this angle while we take this, while these guys take the 3v2 here. This is immediately needs to be recognized by Kephrii. Go, oh, that's a Mercy pocket. I need to back up. I don't like this pylon. Because really, a 2v1, or even a 3v1 here, right? You cannot hold this angle. You need to hold this angle while also giving it up, like a soft retreat, in which case you need to be probably honestly outbursting already and backing up to like here, like all the way back. You don't go back to your team, but you pull back, make these guys reach longer, allow your team to win the 4v2 over here. I don't like this right here. The idea of what he's doing is really good. That's a 3v1. But if that pylon placement is better, he's able to destroy that pylon and rotate. And that's exactly where he rotated to. I told you, right? Then I think he's able to not only live this 3v1, but live for a long time. But ultimately, like, you have to look at, like, okay, so Evil Lettuce hit some nice shots, but why did Evil Lettuce hit some nice shots? right? Tracer's not looking at him. He's under no pressure whatsoever. You really should not be playing this close to the Sigma. Again, why was that Mercy there? Because she was worried about the Kephrii off angle. So I'm telling you guys, this is important to know. Like, Illari is a character that has decent healing output, but her strongest benefit is that she is the best 1v1 character in the entire game, barring like Roadhog or Tank, right? With her pylon. There isn't another character in the game. So unless your tank needs a lot of healing, like let's say you're playing with like a Lucio or a Zenyatta, then you might need to adjust your positioning. But even then, you still want to try and prioritize, if you can, holding a slight off angle, utilizing your self-sufficiency as much as you possibly can, and pressuring the enemy team. Because you guys are like, oh, holding an angle, blah, blah, blah. The fact that people were making fun of people controlling an angle, controlling space, just tells you how stupid that these people are. That is the fundamental of Overwatch. Even in a bronze or silver game, those things are very important. Because I want you to look at this. If Kephrii is not here, then you're going to see this Tracer continue to wrap around behind. The damage-boosted Sojourn would have an angle and break turret. And this damage-boosted Sojourn would start to off-angle with Tracer onto the backline and probably secure a kill on either Kephrii, who is with his team, Widowmaker on the backline, or BAP. Regardless, Evil Lettuce, Syrup, Arduous, I guess Kephrii here, would be under a lot more pressure because this entire lane would be totally clear for them to immediately access backline. And that's the whole point. You don't see that in the stats, right? But this is the value that Kephrii's getting here. I mean, look at it, right? So Sojourn, looking, then rotates, start to pressure Torbjorn on an angle, then Kephrii starts to walk back out and off angle pressure. I mean, this is exactly what Illari is the best at. Now, do I like this as a totally selfish support that only plays on her own angle and basically only does her own thing? Again, I do think that Widow could have played with Kephrii and probably should have played with Kephrii here. But yeah, I don't love that design. I'm not going to lie. The more I've played and the more I've coached Illari, the less I enjoy her design. But this is exactly what she needs to be doing to win games. This is what, whether you're bronze, top 500, leveraging your survivability and trying to win one more 1v1s is exactly what you need to be doing to improving this character. So the fact that this is what got Kephrii called out is like actually crazy, because it's actually just clips of Kephrii. That pylon is really stupid. It's actually just clips of Kephrii hard carrying through his positioning and decision making. Like even the fact that he didn't peek the Sojourn Mercy until he had regened back up was really smart, right? So there's the Widow swap there. Trying to heal our Sigma walking forward. We need to be really careful here. So this is where I actually would like Kephrii to, once he scouts there on Widowmaker, probably rotate over to this left angle and hold this left angle. I don't want to really be playing patty cake with Widowmaker in the longer sight lane. I know Kephrii will because it's Kephrii, but I would prefer to kind of contest this with Pylon. Hold this here, hold this here. If they push me in the 2v1, again, I just kind of do what I did earlier. I just deepen, I back. I make them chase me while I keep two of the members of the enemy team alive, or pressured. And there's always a threat that I just flat out kill the Sojourn, right? I just flat out kill the Mercy. Case in point, right? Yeah, so I like this rotation here. This is good. You got the +1 with the Widow here too, right? So the Widow isn't under a lot of pressure here because she's got Pylon. Case in point. You guys see that? Widow probably dies there if without this Illari holding that angle. So I don't like this. I don't think you should try and Pylon your Widow here. I think you hold the Pylon for yourself and you keep the hard pressure on the Sojourn Mercy, because this is what's going to kill you, right? If this Sojourn Mercy is allowed to comfortably be here, then this is what's going to kill you. And because Kephrii has ironically Pyloned the person that called him out on Twitter, then they actually might lose this fight. Because now you see, like, look at the angle control here, right? Like everybody from Kephrii's team is kind of all grouped up. The Sojourn's got the angle, the Widow's got the angle. This looks, even with an active Widow, this looks pretty, this looks pretty bad. So Kephrii actually ping-pongs to the opposite side, and then case in point, look at how the Widow dies. You're like, oh, well, Kephrii should have been there to heal that. I don't think it matters, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it matters. Kephrii could have been pinging this a little bit, but nothing's going to heal that, right? You need to stop the Sojourn from taking this angle, right? Or you need to be quicker on recognizing this 2 over here and push the Widow over here who doesn't really have any support. And this is Kephrii, right? He's being super smart with a duel. He likes to overthink things a little bit, when I really just think that, like, you have the advantage, just push it sooner. You're up close. So if anything here, it's pulling the Widow attention. He's getting closer. That's good. Yeah, this is just cheeky. He's trying to, it's too late. It's too late. And at this point in time, he just needs to die. Yeah, see, this is probably trolling, because you just need to die at this point. Like, maybe they don't have a flanker, so he's saying that he's probably safe. You know, actually, maybe he is safe. They don't have a flanker. Maybe he is okay. I don't remember seeing this in the review. Yeah, he's. But see, you look at this and you're like, Nothing's going to heal my Widow through that. I don't know what she's peeking that angle at all for. This is a tilted Widowmaker. This is a Widowmaker peeking a tank at point blank range. There's no amount of healing that's going to hold that. Meanwhile, Kephrii is kind of keeping 3 people busy at the moment. This is a lot of pressure. Yeah, so he just misplayed that with his pylon, right? Just misplayed that with his pylon. In the meantime, I imagine the signal will probably die. Well, they flexed and nothing died, so that's good at least. Oh, Evil Lettuce is dead again, so never mind. So yeah, Kephrii honestly should have... Okay, now he's just definitely trolling. that was not smart. Yeah, that was not smart. Okay, then we go Ana. Now, again, I don't understand the Ana thing. I don't know if it's a comfort pick or what. Maybe it's just something feels more comfortable at winning the sniper duels. But again, you're going to see Kephrii do this kind of a thing. But this is exactly what's necessary. You're not going to win by 3 stacking with your Sigma. Ana's not as good at Illari at doing it. But she can work, right? And I think like this, if you're going to win this fight, you need something that can do this. Now, I would back up here because you need to expect attention to yourself and you do not have your CDs. But this is good. Like that was fight carrying right there. Because, again, your sick tank doesn't need more healing. You need someone to control their DPS. Ana would not be my first choice at all. Kiriko. Illari, again, definitely better picks in that situation. Honestly, sounds crazy, but like a DPS Moira in that situation would have provided more value. But I hope nothing else, guys, that here's the takeaway. So, Kephrii. The sniper ego thing, I know you're just screwing on rank, but it's got to go. Like you got to understand that like when you're playing these highly sniper compositions, especially if you're playing in a character like Ana, you need to be more selective with your duels to get more CD value from shorter, tighter sightlines. You're way better at winning those 1v1s in closer ranges, so adjust your positioning accordingly. I think that has to be a priority, and the whole like holding the angle muscle memory from Widowmaker has got to go. Sometimes you got to be a lot more dynamic with your movement. That being said, especially the section where they actually clipped it and showed it, the Illari value was literally what single-handedly won the fight. And for bronze, silver, gold, masters, diamond, whatever, grandmaster players that are watching this, you need to be holding off angles as Illari. You need to be controlling space. You need to be forcing duels. You need to be preventing your team from having to worry about what's happening to the side because you've got that angle controlled. And if you could do that with another DPS, like +1 with the Tracer, +1 with the Widow, +1 with the Torben or Cassidy, whatever, even better. Even better. So main takeaway, was Kephrii trolling? No, I think Kephrii was playing the way Kephrii that likes to normally play. There was a lot of value here. There was also a couple of fights that definitely should have gone better if Kephrii had played it better, but I don't think Kephrii was playing any worse or better than any support of his rank. All right, mates. Hope you guys make sense from that. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'll chat with you later.